Guys, this is not the video that I wanted to have to make today, but it unfortunately needs to be made because a lot of things were brought to light in the kayak fishing tournament scene over the last couple of hours, and I feel like I need to speak my piece on it before people get the wrong opinion of me. I've had enough problems the last couple of months between going down at work and getting lifelined from Hanover Hospital to York Hospital. At the beginning of August, I collapsed at work, ended up sedated and on a ventilator, and like I said, took a helicopter ride from Hanover to York. And I just got bad news the other day that it was because of long QT syndrome, which, for those of you that don't know what that is, it is when your heart gets at a irregular arrhythmia and has an irregular heartbeat, and if not treated properly, you can wind up going into cardiac arrest and dying. There's cases where like swimmers would just up and randomly drown, or people would pass out at the steering wheel and then get into a car crash, and that unfortunately is what I have. Luckily, I was blessed that they figured out what is going on and I'm on medicine for it, so hopefully that helps with everything. But I woke up this morning to some news of a certain individual that I fish with, or used to fish with quite often, and cheating in some tournaments and getting accused of cheating in some tournaments. And I unfortunately was along for the ride in one of those instances. And the footage that some of you have seen or seen the screenshot of was my footage, and I made very clear to that individual when we saw everything that was going on that I was not okay with what he was doing and how I felt about it, which was pure and utter disgust. And I unfortunately led it up to that individual to make the decision to not do that, but they didn't. They ended up going on with the plan and doing it anyway. And I expressed to that individual my disgust with it and how wrong I thought it was the entire time, and also blew up while we were on our trip together because of it. And I have distanced myself from that individual ever since said incident. And I just felt like I needed to say my piece on it because I didn't want people to form the wrong opinion of me because of it. The only reason I stayed out of it for as long as I have was because I didn't want the negative backlash that came with it. I've worked too hard to build what I have. It's not like I have a ton, but I've worked too hard to build what I do have with this and within the fishing community. And I have a lot of people's respect, and I wanted to keep it that way by trying to not be associated with that kind of behavior. I'm not one for drama. I'm not one for wanting to get into this kind of stuff, but we have to in this case. What he did and the actions that he did goes against everything that I stand for as an angler and as a person and just a decent human being. Taking advantage of people like that is totally wrong and uncalled for. Being somebody who tournament fished for a very long time, ever since I was in middle school, I've done my best to do everything that I do as tournament fishing and fishing with the utmost integrity, and anybody that I've fished tournaments with and against can attest to that, and I'm sure will attest to that. That kind of behavior is just absolutely unacceptable and is not and should not be welcomed in the fishing community or tournament fishing community. That is what gives us anglers and us tournament anglers a bad name as a whole, and why a lot of people think so wrongly and so badly about tournament fishermen. None of the things that he did is how I want to be known or how I conduct myself or by the morals I live by. I have always been one to be as honest as I possibly can be, and try to do right by others always. Even if I didn't have this channel and be trying to do the things I am on YouTube, I would not condone any of these things and would not stand up for or stick up for them in any way, shape, or form. And I would have acted the exact same way that I did when everything happened. The only reason I stayed out of it for as long as I have was because I had hoped that he wouldn't go through with it. He wasn't fishing on my boat while we were up there. He was fishing on somebody else's boat. And I wasn't fishing with him specifically the entire time we were up there. I was fishing on a totally separate boat and away from him. And that's why I wanted to make clear in this video where I stand and what I do stand for as a fisherman. The whole reason I got into making these videos was to help people, because on our local lake, I've done extremely well on Lake Marburg. It's a highly pressured fishery, so if some of you know how hard of a fishery it is and how tough a fishery it can be. And the whole reason I started making these videos was to help people and to help them learn how to catch these fish on these fisheries and help them do better on them. Because all growing up, I had people asking me, well, how do you catch fish out there? That place is the Dead Sea. Lots of people call it that. So I decided to start doing these videos and showing people exactly how to catch fish out there and how to catch fish on a lot of our other local fisheries that can be tough as well, and the Susquehanna River being one of them. I've worked so hard the last 5 years to build this channel to what it is and what it's gotten to now. I didn't want to risk coming forward and getting the negative backlash that came with it by doing a video like that or by saying something negative about somebody else. But unfortunately, this one had to be made this time because some people are already forming their own opinions of me, and I don't want to be thought of in that light or be disrespected of in any certain way like that. I have much bigger and much higher morals than to be associated with anything like that. Anybody who knows me or who's been around me knows how humble I am about the success that I have on the water. I will be the first to tell you I do not know it all. I ain't the most amazing fisherman out there. Yes, do I have a lot of success on the lake, especially Lake Marburg? Yes, but I'll be the first to tell you I just get lucky and I'm in the right place at the right time and am out there fishing a ton to get that kind of success. And that's what it takes to be successful on the water. Be out there fishing a lot and get on a pattern and try to keep that pattern. That's what makes you a good angler. That's what makes you well-rounded compared to a lot of the others who don't get that time on the water or don't do that. It's not because I know it all. It's not because I know more than everybody else. It's just I'm out there a lot and I fish it a lot harder than a lot of people do. So I hope by making this video, a lot of you don't judge me very harshly and think that I would be associated with that kind of behavior, because like I said, since this incident and since another incident on the Susquehanna River with this said individual, I have completely cut ties with them. They will no longer be in any other of my videos ever, and I will no longer associate with them ever again. I don't want to be around that kind of behavior. I don't want to be around people who are doing those kind of behaviors and things either. So just know that I would never support these kind of decisions or these kind of behaviors, and I would never condone them. And I hope that a lot of you guys can understand that and understand the hard predicament that I was in these past few months since everything that did happen. I didn't really know what to do. I was advised by other people to just stay out of it and try and let karma figure its way out. Some very well-respected people in the fishing industry, and they advised me it would be best to just stay out of it and steer clear of the drama, because you don't want to be associated with any of that kind of stuff. So that's what I did, and why I didn't come forward earlier or say anything earlier. But now came the time where I had to. hopefully you guys can understand me and understand my point. And if you guys want to watch along for further videos, we're going to have a lot better videos with a lot better tone in them to come. But with all that being said, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll have a lot better video come this coming week with a lot better tone and a lot more positive attitude in it. We'll see y'all next week, guys. Tight lines.